Hidden in the jungle of southern Mexico lies the ruins of Palenque, the crown jewel of the ancient Mayan civilization. And hidden here, deep beneath the Temple of Inscriptions, lies the tomb of Pacal, one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. After clearing 400 tons of rubble fill from the interior staircase, the triangular tomb door was finally encountered and opened for the first time in more than 1,200 years. Inside the tomb, archaeologists discovered a massive 7-ton stone carving which, when lifted, revealed the final resting place of Pacal the Great, Palenque's longest reigning king. Sitting atop the double-headed jaguar throne, he is shown here at his coronation in the year 615 AD. He would rule Palenque for the next 68 years until his death in 683. Commemorated on his sarcophagus lid, Pacal is shown at the moment of death as he falls toward the underworld. Pacal was succeeded on the throne by his son Chanbalum, shown here on the right making offerings to his dead father in the underworld. This inscription is housed in the Temple of the Cross, the largest of the temple pyramids that Chanbalum would build to the east of his father's tomb. Consisting of a number of structures of sublime beauty, the Cross group of temples is widely considered a masterpiece of the classic Maya civilization. But with his father occupying one of the most famous tombs in the land, and his sophisticated temples representing the artistic climax of his era, we are forced to ask the question, where is the tomb of Chanbalum? Archaeologists have excavated to the base of each of his temples but have failed to find his tomb. What they did find, however, was almost as spectacular. Buried as offerings within the temples were more than 100 ceramic incense burners, some in a near-perfect state of preservation. These sculptural treasures exude a vitality that seems to bring the viewer face to face with their creator. And it was through my study of these mesmerizing faces that they were indelibly imprinted onto my memory, so that when I stumbled upon Chanbalum's megalithic sculpture of the underworld jaguar sun, I recognized it instantly as the work of this ancient master. Larger than the Egyptian Sphinx, the towering monument stands sentinel in front of the tomb of Chanbalum. Behind the sun god lies a crouching jaguar. Together, these two images appear in the Temple of the Sun inscription in Palenque and spell out the honorary title of the ancient Mayan king, Lord Jaguar Sun. Unique in its environment, the monument stands tall within a landscape of grassy hills and smooth ridgelines. A half-acre level terrace lies at its base, formed of cobbled debris from the sculpting process in an area otherwise characterized by steep slopes. Located in the South Pacific on the enigmatic Robinson Crusoe Island off the coast of Chile, the monument conspicuously occupies the exact geographic center of the island. And it was here in November of 2012 that a total solar eclipse was visible a mere 1 degree above the horizon at sunset, a potent symbol of the death of the sun at the end of a 5,000-year calendar cycle. 2 years earlier, another total solar eclipse made a direct hit on its western neighbor, Easter Island, where the famous megaliths known as Moai witnessed the penultimate eclipse as prelude to 2012. But how can we be certain that this is the final resting place of Chanbalum? We might wonder if he left a record of his final journey in his hieroglyphic inscriptions. In fact, he did. The Emiliano Zapata panel shows a seated Chanbalum holding a cutting tool tipped with jaguar claws. He carves a grotesque head that is identical to the sun god monument. The accompanying text reads, "On May 20th, 635, Chanbalum was born. After 24,380 days, he died on February 16th, 702. Sculptor of the precious stone, on the back of." With this inscription, we have the most explicit statement yet linking the death of Chanbalum with his likely burial behind his monumental masterpiece. But what if there is more to this story? Chanbalum is shown carving the right-hand side of the monument's head, and it is precisely this side, the north face of the sun god tower, that has broken away and fallen down the hillside, tearing through the forest and coming to rest in the gully below. Could it be that Chanbalum intentionally vandalized his own masterpiece in an act of ritual and literal defacing? Consequently, the monument is difficult to recognize as the southern face is only illuminated for a few weeks each year around the December solstice, an important calendar station symbolically associated with the death and rebirth of the sun. But what about the rebirth of Chanbalum? Again, specific information can be found in his inscriptions. Adjacent to the Temple of the Sun, which showed us the jaguar and sun god images of the monument, lies Temple 14, a smaller construction presumed to have been built after the death of Chanbalum. The enclosed inscription boldly predicts Chanbalum's return from the dead. As the text explains, the tablet celebrates King Chanbalum's triumphal dance out of Xibalba after his defeat of the Lords of Death. He wears the skeletal jaguar god of the underworld on his belt and a keen sun sign in his headdress. He is dancing out from the watery underworld. With his funerary monument positively identified, perched high on a ridgeline in an unforgiving landscape, we turn now to the all-important question: where is the tomb of Chanbalum? The answer once again appears to lie within his temple precinct in Palenque, where a sacred geometry is inscribed in 3 dimensions across the landscape, indicating by analogy the location of the door of his tomb behind the distant island monument. Chanbalum's temples are aligned such that when one looks out from the Temple of the Foliated Cross toward the center of the Temple of the Sun, a line of sight is defined that, when extended, continues westward to target the hidden tomb of his father, buried within the Temple of Inscriptions. This alignment is too important to ignore, especially when one considers that these temples were explicitly constructed as portals of communication with deceased ancestors. Furthermore, the Temple of the Jaguar, perched awkwardly alone in the jungle to the south, and which once contained a beautiful inscription of Chanbalum atop the double-headed jaguar throne, creates a perfect equilateral triangle with the Temple of the Sun and Pakal's tomb, but only when represented in 3 dimensions. The 3-dimensional sacred geometry depicted in this model is my own unique discovery gained after more than 20 years of patient study of Palenque, centered on the Temple of the Sun, which depicts the images of the island monument. Seen in motion, the linear axis points toward Pakal's tomb at ground level beneath the Temple of Inscriptions. But when measured as accurately as possible, the result is a shocking revelation. The alignment precisely targets the door to the tomb. This is a blatant clue to use a similar technique to locate the entrance to the tomb of Chanbalum. In December of 2016, I returned to Robinson Crusoe Island to mark the 20th anniversary of my discovery of the monument. I brought with me my DJI Phantom drone, which I had bought for the express purpose of flying over the monument. The rugged landscape of the island makes ground-based photography difficult, and I knew that an aerial platform was the ideal solution. By taking dozens of photographs from every possible angle, I was then able to construct a virtual 3D model on my computer, which allowed me to explore the landscape and test my hypotheses on potential alignments. I even went so far as to print out numerous models on my 3D printer to aid my analysis. And so it has been through these sustained efforts over the course of the past decades that I am able to claim with a high degree of confidence that I have located the lost tomb of Chanbalum. And with its location on a mysterious island thousands of miles from the Maya realm, this enigmatic burial promises to rewrite the history of the New World. My intention now is to assemble a team of like-minded adventurers to assist me in revealing this treasure to a global audience for the benefit of all humanity.